Gilling Anx was wanted in 3 systems for multiple crimes against the Noans, the Verbgots, and the Prosinuthians. But he operated on Rafanti, a space docking station deep in neutral space. Nearly 10% of all the criminals who lived in Rafanti worked for Gilling. Every bounty hunter who dared enter Rafanti to collect would end up vaporized or shot out into space. Most law enforcement would leave the bounty of 500,000 credits for Gilling dead or alive open, but it had been years and no one had collected. Then, in a Noan police station on the edge of their space, a human entered demanding the payment of the bounty as he brought in Gilling Anx in restraining cuffs. The Noan officers could not believe what they were witnessing, and after confirming it was Gilling Anx with multiple DNA and bioscan devices, they asked who he was and how he captured Gilling Anx. The bounty hunter responded he was Amir Hassan and began to tell the story. Amir Hassan, a seasoned bounty hunter known for his skill and resourcefulness, had learned of Gilling Anx's whereabouts through a network of informants that spanned multiple systems. Rumors of the elusive criminal's activities had reached even the farthest corners of space, making him one of the most sought-after targets in the galaxy. As Hassan recounted his journey to apprehend Gilling Anx, the Noan officers listened intently, captivated by the intricate web of deception and danger that had led to this moment. Hassan's tale took them from the bustling streets of crowded spaceports to the desolate expanses of uninhabited planets, each step fraught with peril and uncertainty. It all began on the fringes of the Verbgots' territory, where Hassan had first picked up Gilling Anx's trail. Disguised as a smuggler seeking illicit goods, Hassan had infiltrated a notorious criminal syndicate known to have ties to Gilling. Through a series of calculated risks and daring confrontations, he had gathered enough information to pinpoint Gilling's location on Rafanti. Rafanti, a lawless outpost where danger lurked around every corner, was a haven for those seeking to evade justice. Hassan had known that entering such a place meant putting his life on the line, but the lure of the bounty and the satisfaction of bringing a notorious criminal to justice had driven him forward. Upon arriving at Rafanti, Hassan had quickly realized the extent of Gilling Anx's influence. The criminal's reach extended far beyond the station's boundaries, with a network of loyal followers ready to defend him at any cost. Hassan had navigated this treacherous landscape with caution, using his skills and wit to outmaneuver Gilling's forces and edge closer to his target. The final confrontation had been a tense and relentless battle of wits and weapons, with Hassan and Gilling facing off in a showdown that would determine the fate of them both. Through plain willpower and a rigid commitment, Hassan had emerged victorious, apprehending Gilling Anx and securing him in the restraints that now held him captive. As Hassan concluded his account, the Noan officers exchanged incredulous glances, unable to fathom the audacity and skill that had led to Gilling Anx's capture. The bounty hunter's reputation had preceded him, but his success in bringing in such a notorious criminal had elevated him to legendary status among law enforcement circles. With Gilling Anx now in custody, the Noans could finally see justice served for the crimes that had plagued their system for so long. As Hassan accepted the bounty for his capture, a sense of closure settled over the station, knowing that one of the most dangerous criminals in the galaxy had been brought to justice by the hands of a determined and fearless hunter. And so, the tale of Amir Hassan and Gilling Anx would be told and retold across the stars, a testament to the enduring pursuit of justice in a universe fraught with danger and deceit. Hassan's heart pounded in his chest as he realized that his victory over Gilling Anx had only ignited a new chapter of danger. The criminal's loyal enforcers had caught up to him, surrounding his ship in a menacing show of force. With no time to lose, Hassan knew he had to act fast to evade capture or worse. As the alien vessels closed in on him, Hassan navigated his ship skillfully through the intricate dance of space, pushing his craft to its limits in a desperate bid for escape. With precision honed through years of dangerous pursuits, he charted a course towards the nearest safe haven he could find. Gloomian 3, a small space docking station nestled in the heart of neutral territory. The alien pursuers remained relentless, doggedly tailing Hassan's ship as it entered the docking bay of Gloomian 3. The station's flickering lights and cramped corridors provided a stark contrast to the vastness of space outside, but Hassan knew that he had to make a stand here if he was to have any hope of surviving the onslaught that awaited him. Steeling himself for the battle ahead, Hassan armed himself with a frightening array of weapons and prepared to confront the tide of enemies that would soon flood into the docking bays. As the first alien mobsters emerged from their ships, their weapons gleaming in the dim light, Hassan sprang into action, his movements fluid and precise as he unleashed a barrage of firepower upon his foes. The clash that ensued was a symphony of chaos and violence, with blaster fire lighting up the cramped confines of the docking bays and the sound of battle echoing off the metal walls. Hassan fought with a ferocity born of desperation, his instincts sharp and his determination firm as he single-handedly took on the alien mobsters that had come to claim his life. With each foe that fell before him, Hassan felt a surge of adrenaline course through his veins, driving him forward even as fatigue threatened to sap his strength. The aliens fought with a ruthless efficiency, their numbers seeming endless as they pressed the attack from all sides. But Hassan refused to yield, his determination as unbending as Durasteel. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn in Hassan's favor. His cunning tactics and combat prowess allowed him to outmaneuver and outgun his adversaries, forcing them onto the defensive as he gained ground with each moment. The docking bays became a battleground littered with fallen foes and the stench of ozone and burnt metal. But just as it seemed that victory was within reach, a hulking figure emerged from the shadows, flanked by a cadre of heavily armed enforcers. It was Gilling Anx himself, his eyes filled with a cruel gleam as he advanced towards Hassan, a cold smile playing across his lips. In a heartbeat, the balance of power shifted once more. Gilling Anx's presence cast a shadow over the chaos of the battle, his reputation as a ruthless criminal mastermind preceding him like a storm cloud. Hassan braced himself for the final confrontation, knowing that this would be a fight unlike any he had faced before. The clash between hunter and hunted was swift and brutal, a dance of death played out amidst the smoke and carnage of the docking bays. Hassan and Gilling Anx circled each other warily, their weapons raised and ready as they prepared to settle the score once and for all. With a savage cry, Gilling Anx lunged at Hassan, his movements swift and sure as he sought to overwhelm his opponent with sheer brute force. Hassan met his every blow with a deftness born of experience, his reflexes sharp and his mind clear as he sought out the openings in his enemy's defenses. The battle raged on, each combatant locked in a deadly dance of death as they fought with a ferocity that bordered on madness. The clang of metal on metal, the hiss of blaster fire, and the screams of the fallen filled the air, creating a cacophony of violence that reverberated through the station. In the end, it was Hassan's skill and determination that proved to be the deciding factor. With a final decisive strike, he managed to disarm Gilling Anx and bring the criminal to his knees, his reign of terror finally at an end. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded, Hassan stood victorious, the weight of his hard-won triumph settling upon his shoulders. Amidst the wreckage of the docking bays, Hassan took a moment to catch his breath, the adrenaline of combat slowly ebbing away to be replaced by a profound sense of relief. The danger had passed, at least for now, and he could finally allow himself a moment of respite before the next challenge presented itself. And so, the legend of Amir Hassan, the fearless bounty hunter who had faced down the most notorious criminals in the galaxy, would continue to grow. Though the trials and tribulations of his chosen path were many, Hassan knew that as long as there were criminals like Gilling Anx who threatened the peace of the universe, his work would never truly be done. Hassan decided to end this now. With a swift reflex, he shot Gillen, ending him once and for all.